Good evening, everybody. I need y'all to hear me on this one, real close, because somebody in this room or watching this right now is holding on to something, or worse, someone that God is trying to remove from your life. Some of y'all are begging, crying, losing sleep, trying to force a relationship that was never meant for you. You praying for somebody to change, asking God to fix it when God is saying, I did fix it. I removed them from your life. One of the hardest things to do is let go of something or someone you thought would be in your life forever. It's human nature to hold on, to fight for what we believe in, to try and make things work. But sometimes what you're holding on to is exactly what's keeping you from receiving what's truly meant for you. When something isn't serving you, whether it's a toxic relationship, a one-sided friendship, or an environment that drains you, it's not just holding space in your life, it's blocking your blessings. You can't receive new opportunities with your hands full of the past. You can't invite new love into your heart when it's still occupied by someone who never truly valued you. Letting go doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you weren't good enough. It simply means that certain people and situations have an expiration date, and forcing them to stay past that point only causes more pain. You have to recognize when a season in your life is over and be willing to move forward. There's a difference between fighting for something that's meant to grow and forcing something that's meant to end. Growth requires effort, but it should never feel like begging for basic respect, love, or attention. If you constantly feel like you have to prove your worth or chase after someone's time, that's not a relationship, that's an emotional prison. When you make the decision to release what no longer serves you, you create space for something better. It may not happen immediately, and it may not look the way you expected, but trust that what's coming is greater than what's gone. Life has a way of rewarding those who have the courage to let go of what's holding them back. Trusting that your prayers are heard is one of the most important lessons you'll ever learn. Too often people pray and then immediately start doubting, questioning, or trying to take control of the situation themselves. But real faith means believing that once you've put in God's hands, it's already being handled, even if you don't see immediate results. The problem is that most people want instant confirmation. They want a sign, a quick response, or some obvious proof that their prayers are being answered. But faith doesn't work like that. Faith is trusting in what you can't see, knowing that just because there's no visible change yet doesn't mean nothing is happening behind the scenes. Think about all the times in your life when something didn't go your way, only for you to look back later and realize it was for the best. Maybe that job you didn't get led to a better opportunity. Maybe that relationship that broke you actually saved you from years of unhappiness. When you pray, you have to trust that things are shifting in your favor, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. So, doubt is the enemy of faith. The moment you start questioning whether God hears you, you start working against your own blessings. If you plant a seed and keep digging it up to check if it's growing, it'll never take root. Your prayers work the same way. Once you've spoken your request, you have to leave it alone, keep believing, and stay patient. God's timing is not your timing. What you think is a delay might actually be divine protection or preparation. Every unanswered prayer is either leading you to something greater or saving you from something harmful. You can't ask God for His best while holding on to what you know is less than you deserve. Too many people pray for true love, for real friendships, for genuine connections, yet they continue to entertain relationships that are toxic, draining, and one-sided. You can't have both. You can't make room for a blessing while still clinging to what's breaking you. When you settle, you send a message, not just to yourself, but to God, that you're okay with being treated less than what you prayed for. You can't ask for a loyal partner while excusing dishonesty. You can't pray for peace while surrounding yourself with chaos. God doesn't bless confusion, and He won't pour something new into a cup that's already full of what you refuse to release. Some people stay in unhealthy relationships out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear that something better might never come. But when you choose to stay in situations that drain you, you delay the very thing you've been asking for. If your hands are full of something broken, how can you receive what's whole? If your heart is tied to something temporary, how can God bring you something lasting? Trust requires action. If you truly believe that God has something better for you, then you have to be willing to let go of what isn't right. You can't hold on to what's comfortable just because it's familiar. Growth happens when you step into the unknown, trusting that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. Every time you settle, you push your blessing further away. Every time you refuse to walk away from what's not serving you, you block the opportunity for something greater to take its place. If they left, let them go. One of the hardest things to accept is that some people are only meant to be in your life for a season. But too often, people hold on to relationships that have already run their course, trying to force something that was never meant to last forever. You can't make someone stay who doesn't want to be there. And you shouldn't have to convince anyone of your worth. When someone walks away, whether it's a friend, a relationship, or even a family member, it's natural to feel hurt, confused, and even betrayed. But instead of chasing after them, take a step back and ask yourself why you're fighting so hard for someone who made the choice to leave. If they truly valued you, if they were truly meant for your life, they wouldn't have left in the first place. If they truly value you, if they were truly meant for your life, they wouldn't have left in the first place. Holding on to someone who doesn't want to stay is like trying to hold on to a rope that's burning your hands. The tighter you grip, the more pain you feel. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is release. Let go of the need for closure. Let go of the need for explanations. Let go of the idea that their absence is a reflection of your worth. People leave for their own reasons, and often their departure is God's way of protecting you from something you can't yet see. It may not feel like it in the moment, but every person who exits your life is making space for someone better suited for the next chapter. Some people are only meant to teach you a lesson, to show you what you don't want, to prepare you for what's to come. But if you keep looking back, if you keep replaying the past and wondering what you could have done differently, you'll miss the new doors that are opening in front of you. You deserve relationships that are mutual, that are built on respect, that don't require you to beg for love or attention. If they left, let them go. If they chose to walk away, let them. Don't waste your time trying to glue together something that God has already told you to release. Your future is not tied to anyone who walked away. Faith works like planting a seed. When you plant something, you don't immediately dig it up to check if it's growing. You trust the process, water it, give it sunlight, and believe that in time it will sprout. The same principle applies to your prayers, your dreams, and the things you're hoping for in life. Once you've spoken it, once you've asked God for it, you have to trust that something is happening beneath the surface, even if you don't see it right away. The biggest mistake people make is expecting instant results. They pray for change, but the moment they don't see movement, they start doubting, questioning, and trying to take control themselves. But just because you don't see the roots growing doesn't mean the seed isn't doing its work underground. Some of the most powerful transformations happen in silence, in the unseen places, in the waiting season. Doubt is like pulling that seed out of the soil every day to check if it's working. It disrupts the process, delays the blessing, and ultimately weakens your faith. When you plant something, your job is to nurture it, not control how fast it grows. In life, your job is to stay faithful, keep believing, and continue walking in alignment with what you're asking for. If you've prayed for real love, start preparing yourself to receive it. If you've prayed for a better future, start moving in that direction. Faith is not just believing, it's acting as if what you ask for is already on the way. God's timing is never late, but it's also never rushed. Some blessings take time because they require preparation. You might be praying for something you're not even ready to handle yet. Just like a tree doesn't bear fruit overnight, some of the greatest things in life take seasons to grow. The challenge is to trust the timing, to have patience in the process, and to understand that just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening. When you truly trust that your prayers have been heard, you stop worrying. You stop trying to force things. You let go of anxiety and step into faith, knowing that what's meant for you is already unfolding, even if you can't see it yet. Clearing space is necessary for growth. Too often, people hold on to things, relationships, and situations that no longer serve them out of fear of the unknown. But when you refuse to let go of what's no longer meant for you, you block the very blessings you've been praying for. You can't receive what's next while clinging to what's past. Imagine trying to fill a cup that's already full. No matter how much fresh water you pour in, there's no room for it. That's exactly what happens when you hold on to the wrong people, unhealthy relationships, or negative environments. God can't give you what's meant for you if you're still entertaining what's beneath you. Some things must be removed before better things can take their place. People often struggle with letting go because they fear being alone or worry that nothing better will come. But God never removes without replacing. When you release what's weighing you down, you make room for what will lift you up. The friendships that drained you, the relationship that made you question your worth, the job that stole your peace. When these things leave your life, it's not a loss. It's an opportunity for something greater. Trust that what's meant for you will never require you to beg, chase, or compromise your peace. True relationships, true love, and true opportunities will align with you naturally. When you let go of what's forced, you create space for what flows. When you stop fighting for what isn't meant to be, you allow room for what is. God can't bless what you won't release. You may think you need to hold on, but if something is being removed from your life, there's a reason. You might not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize that everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. Every closed door led you to something better. Every person who walked away made space for someone greater. Every disappointment prepared you for a bigger blessing. If you say, I can't do something, dedicate yourself to it. Go all in. Clear the space. Trust that when you let go of the wrong people, the right ones will appear. Trust that what's meant for you is already finding its way to you. Trust that you are not losing, you are making room for something better than you ever imagined. Letting go is not losing, it's making room for what's truly meant for you. When you release what no longer serves you, you create space for better relationships, greater opportunities, and deeper peace. Trust that your prayers have been heard, even if you don't see results right away. God is always working behind the scenes, aligning things in your favor. Stop chasing what's walking away and start preparing for what's on the way. True relationships, true love, and true blessings will find you when you clear the space and trust the process. What's ahead is far greater than what's behind.